Welcome to our final trail of the trip, or of New Zealand, at least.
So we almost died. Couldn't do more after that.
Yes, partly that. Definitely the most harrowing of our trails, for sure. It requires a bunch of planning. There's really good signage to make sure that you have, 4 liters of water with you, and you know what you're doing. You've got layers and all that good stuff. It is a hike that you have to park on one end and you finish on another. So we actually were able to get a companion that we met at our hostel the night before, who was willing to drive with us to the ending so we could park our car there, and then he drove us to the start. So that was great that we were able to figure that out. Definitely cheaper than there's a bus route that does the exact same thing. However, the day that we did the crossing, the bus route was canceled due to bad weather.
We didn't know that.
We didn't know that, but we show up at the parking lot that you end at, and there's not a single car.
So, we are the only people to have completed this hike today.
Didn't die.
Did not die.
In sight. So we're actually confused if we're in the right space. Turns out we were. It's just that no one was doing the hike that day due to bad weather, and as you'll see in the video, why no one was doing it due to the bad weather. So, fun fact, I think the day that we did the Tongariro crossing, we were the only ones to complete the hike that entire day.
We set a record.
Wind gusts. They're here. Oh, which way? That way? They're not too bad.
Yeah, the Tongariro crossing was a physical challenge as well as a mental one, I think, as we were going through, because, there's just no one around. We knew there were warning signs everywhere, but our car was at the other end, and so we kind of just figured, how bad can it be? Let's go get our car and start on this 20-kilometer hike. So we just, set off. We had, we just figured we had to do it because we were there, and
it was the only day
our buddy had left.
Yeah, it was the only day that we really could have done it for our schedule. We had to, we had flights booked leaving New Zealand.
Which, in retrospect, is not a good reason to put your life in danger. But I don't know. In the moment,
we didn't think we were going to die, because there was no sign saying you're going to die. There was signs being don't do it. Which one are we? I say we're here.
So we're gonna go.
We're gonna do it.
Well, if the national park's listening, we'll need more adept signage. We, had fun, but you'll see from the footage, we're in a blizzard essentially, wearing all our layers.
Yeah, wearing all the layers.
If we stop, we freeze.
For reference, it was at the base where we started was maybe 10 degrees, and when we got to the top, it was closer to 0 with crazy winds. Those winds felt, I think, over 100 kilometers an hour. Now,
I was going to say 90 kilometers.
I don't actually know how to measure that, so that's just an opinion. Could be very wrong, but it was those winds were, we were kind of on all fours as we summited the very tippy top. We were both scared. It was legitimately scary. Yeah,
and I think we got about, halfway, and we're getting near the top, and the winds are picking up, and we're thinking, we would stop and think, do we actually turn around? Is this too dangerous? When will it stop? Is it like this for the rest of the trail? Because then we wouldn't be able to do it. So we didn't know. We had, passed a bunch of people who had already turned around saying, it was crazy, we didn't do it, you shouldn't do it.
So, this is our lunch spot. We are cowering behind this rock. Because the winds are crazy up here, and it's a bit of a view, but don't slip on a ledge. Hurry!
Hurry, look!
Hurry!
But I think 2 things pushed us forward: our car, and the fact that if we were turning around, we were going to be facing the wind.
Ooh, yes.
The wind had been at our backs,
which was honestly kind of okay.
It was good because we could keep our hoods up. But heading back, we didn't have any, thing to cover our faces. Essentially, we were like goggles.
Yeah.
It would have been quite cold. So, anyways, we persevered.
We're hiding again, yeah.
I didn't die. So
We came pretty close to dying though.
it's very scary.
It was so much adrenaline pumping.
Oh yeah. All my instincts were saying you're gonna get blown off this ledge and die. We didn't even get to see the stupid view.
I know. Yeah, it was way too dangerous to look over to the other side.
I didn't even stop to read the sign.
No, it was like red crater. Like no, that.
What crater?
Yeah, that sign is just at the edge. We're not doing it.
Saw the beautiful lakes.
Yeah.
And you know, it turned out the second half was quite nice. I think it cleared up a little bit, so we got some views.
And I think we were just stoked that we did it. You know, like we set out to do it. You know, all this signage was like, "Don't do it," and we're like, "Screw you, signage. We're going to try our best because our car's on the other side." And you know, we did it, and definitely a harrowing adventure that I don't think we will soon forget. It's too bad that we don't have any footage of the summit itself, but alas.
I mean, it is, but when you think about
it
how
would've been
scary, like it was
it wouldn't have been possible.
There wasn't even a thought in my mind to be like, let's take out my phone now. Like,
No.
this feels like a good idea.
Yeah.
But we have the footage of us like hunkered down right after we went over the peak, like hiding behind a mound of dirt.
Yeah. This is it. The last 45 minutes. Can we see it? Oh, we can still see it. It's up there. Goodbye, volcano. Mount Doom. All right, onwards. Anyway, so that was the Tongariro crossing. And the next day, we actually were lucky enough to see the actual Mount Tongariro, which was good to see what we could have seen had weather been clear. And we got to quickly go to, there's a ski resort. We just walked around it. That was cool.
Volcanic skiing.
Look at that.
This is a little ski village. They need a lot more snow. Oh my god, yeah, look, oh, there are things to produce snow. It's just volcanic rock.
Yeah, I've never
so
seen
weird.
a ski resort on a active, or beside, I guess, an active volcano. Definitely very different rock.
They definitely had a lot of snowmaking machines.
Yeah. And we visited Gollum's pool, where we ate lunch.
Yeah, so this is
outside.
where they filmed the scene where Gollum's fishing in the sacred pool.
Yeah.
And I think it's in the Twin Towers movie. Anyways, so that was really fun
That
to
was
see
fun.
where that was filmed.
More Lord of the Rings stuff.
More Lord of the Rings stuff. It was sunny, and we ate lunch right beside it, and that's where we got to see the volcano. So yeah, it was a good little second day to rest our weary bones.
Yeah. And then we proceeded up to get close to Auckland, because we were flying out in a couple of days. Yeah, flying home. So on our way up, we did some glowworm tubing, which was cool. And
check out the blog there for pictures.
And then we spent a good afternoon in the Hamilton Gardens.
Yes.
That was sweet.
Did we pay for that one?
No, it's free. It's a free thing.
It's crazy.
Yeah. That's like Hamilton's thing. Like, oh, you're coming, like, oh, you're in Auckland and you want to go visit our other big city that's an hour drive away? Do it up. It's got a free garden that'll blow your mind.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really, really cool. They have all these enclosed gardens with different themes. So you have all the standard ones, like an Italian garden and a Japanese garden, but then some more, I don't know, out there, creative ones. And so we got to see an Egyptian garden, which I think was the first of its kind, trying to reproduce what they think gardens would have looked like.
Yeah.
So yeah, we saw a lot of like a Tudor one and
one's from novels.
Yeah, novel,
one's
a Shakespeare one or
from,
something.
One's trying to like put you into perspective, so like have some stuff that was really big, and
yeah, we had fun in that one.
It was so cool. All right, so this garden's inspired by the magic flute. We're gonna learn about Papageno. Dad, this one's for you. Yeah. Checks out. How do they do these things? I don't know. Oh, that looks like Papageno. Maybe. I don't know if I've had more fun in gardens. Anyway, okay. So that later that night, we spent at Neville and Lee's place as our final night in New Zealand. Thank you again for hosting us. And then we finally had basically a half day to explore Auckland. We went up one of the active, or not really active, but one of their
I think
volcano.
it's like 16 volcanoes. Is that,
But they're like
is that an exaggeration?
I don't know.
Well,
There's a
they're
bunch.
not active, but they're essentially all these craters and parks around. So we went up the main one, Mount Eden, which gave us like a really beautiful view of the city. And after that, I was like, I feel like I've seen it. Like, I'm good. Let's go get some lunch. And we just chilled in a cafe. Like, it was very, very relaxed. Took a little drive downtown. Auckland, you did it. You built a little statue.
It's a miniature version of the CN Tower. That was their inspiration.
And all their buildings are also mini.
That was New Zealand. We absolutely loved it. Definitely want to go back. Would highly recommend anyone who's never been to New Zealand. If you like the outdoors and hikes,
It's a must.
it's a must.
Must.
For sure.
Should be on everyone's bucket list. Very
All
special.
right. Up next is France. Finally made it to Europe. Didn't die.